Back in February, we saw the first teaser for Shrek 5, which is set to be released in December 2026. Since doing a few videos on Shrek, as well as the book that inspired it, I wondered about a potential synopsis for the fifth film. The teaser drew a polarising response, with some criticising it for looking too different from the previous films, and others praising it for what they perceived as improvements in technology. I personally don't like the aesthetic. Above all, I think it looks far too clean, which contrasts with Shrek's grainy 3D art style, which was intended to contrast with Disney's clean 2D aesthetic. While doing my video answering if the film adaptation of Shrek was a great adaptation of the original book, I looked at the art style of the book, and pondered a potential storyline for the fifth film. What if the clean aesthetic we saw in the trailer was intentional? What if the storyline saw Shrek seeing everything as too polished all of a sudden, and he and Donkey ended up journeying into, you guessed it, a 2D world? Shrek utilised a grainy 3D art style to contrast with Disney's clean 2D art style. In the years since that film came out, Disney shut down their 2D studio, and have since stuck primarily to 3D, only bringing back 2D for certain projects. At this point, we have a grainy 3D art style, contrasting with a clean 3D art style. And Shrek is supposed to subvert fairytale tropes amongst other tropes, such as characters journeying into the real world. So, what if Shrek 5 served as the opposite to Disney's modern feature films, and, for the majority of its runtime, utilised a grainy 2D art style to contrast with Disney's clean 3D art style? I'd welcome an aesthetic based on the illustrations from the book with open arms. And DreamWorks Animation did do 2D animated films in their first few years. Remember the masterpiece that was The Prince of Egypt? Maybe Shrek and Donkey encounter the characters from the book, who fear the former, with Shrek being unsurprised on account of the former prejudice of the humans in his world. Along the way, the Shrek of that world accidentally stumbles into the clean 3D world, and dislikes the environment, and how everyone loves him. He uses his fire breath to terrorise the creatures of that world, who are surprised by what they perceive as different behaviour from their Shrek. Shrek and Donkey end up arriving at a castle. They journey inside and come across the princess from the book. The princess is smitten by Shrek's appearance, and is dismayed to find that he's married. Eventually, Shrek and Donkey find their way back to their world, only to find the former's evil counterpart terrorising everyone and causing damage. Shrek realises how his counterpart is more dangerous and indestructible than him, and enlists the dragon and the dronkeys to fight him. Eventually they overpower him, and Shrek contemplates sending his counterpart back to his own world, but remains worried he will continue to terrorise the creatures of that world. Shrek shows his counterpart a mirror. The counterpart is initially horrified, believing it to be a similarly hideous creature, but regains his confidence when realising it's his reflection. Having had a sense of what it's like to be terrorised, the counterpart promises to improve for the better. Shrek remembers his encounter with the princess, and takes his counterpart back to his world to meet her. The counterpart and the princess become mutually smitten by their shared ugliness, and marry, with Shrek and his family and friends in attendance. All the while, there could be an explanation as to why Shrek's world looks too clean. It's being controlled by an evil black and white Mickey Mouse in another dimension, who wants to buy it out, and make it more in line with Disney's clean aesthetic. Shrek enlists his counterpart to confront Mickey, who tries to offer Shrek a huge sum of money to buy his world. But Shrek, not wanting to go down a path of greed like his past enemies, refuses. Mickey tries to kill them both, but Shrek throws red paint at him, resulting in authorities breaking in and arresting Mickey for copyright infringement. Shrek and his counterpart go back to their worlds, with Shrek's world maintaining its grainy aesthetic once again. If this was what happened, I'd be very surprised, but pleasantly. That said, if this is what the plot is, I think I deserve to be recognised as having prediction levels on par with The Simpsons.